In 17 2/3, he still has the control.
Saw the 4 home runs there. That's 2 more than he gave up.
And that came with the bases loaded, and Frank Thomas walked. Eckersley with the first pitch. Thomas takes it on the inside corner, strike 1.
That's where they try to pitch the big guy. We talked about it earlier. He dives in. He's got great power to right center. If he's got a zone he has trouble with, it is on the inside corner. And Eck knocked it down nicely right there.
Again, he tries that inside corner. He has that fastball coming from the sidearm that kind of rides into a right-hander. Against a left-hander, he'll turn it over and sink it. Well, he's got Frank Thomas just about where he wants him. A ball, 2 strikes.
No. Yeah, well, you're right. Just about where he wants him.
He'd rather have Mo, too.
He'd rather have him out.
In the dugout. Out at first base. Slutsarski started it. Now it's up to Dennis Eckersley. 5-5 ball game. The 1-2 to Thomas. Misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Eckersley does not want to allow Thomas to get those long arms extended. He's been working them inside.
Dennis Eckersley does not like the call here, folks, at all. Again, the umpires are set up on that inside corner.
Stays at 2-2.
The thing that makes it so frustrating, and I was talking to Sammy Ellis, the pitching coach of the Chicago White Sox, and I've talked to many other pitching coaches around baseball. They really try to teach their pitchers to throw inside, to try to get people off the plate, and they want to establish the inside corner. But they said they just don't seem to get the call as consistently as they would like.
Misses inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. You know, Dave, you were talking about his numbers 061. I was looking at his career numbers, and this is the same guy, Dennis Eckersley, 1983. He led the major leagues with the highest ERA, 5.61. Times has changed. That was as a starter, but Tony La Russa made him a closer in 1988, and he saved, what, 137 games in 148 opportunities, or 155 opportunities.
Whatever it is, it's a whole bunch.
You got that right. Thomas fouls it off again.
This is a nice battle right here. Great veteran Dennis Eckersley against a guy, Frank Thomas, in his first full year in the major leagues, but a very professional hitter. Eckersley's throwing everything he's got. Thomas is looking for one pitch, a mistake.
The 3-2. He's hanging in there, but he drives one to right field. Jose Canseco over near the line, makes the catch, and Eckersley gets his man. So the A's have a chance to win it as we head to the bottom of the ninth, tied at 5. Started tonight at the Oakland Coliseum, and many are still remaining. 5-5 ball game, bottom of the ninth inning of play, and Bobby Thigpen will face the top of the order, Henderson, Blankenship, and Canseco, and a new first baseman taking over for Frank Thomas, Corey Snyder.
Thomas still suffering from tendinitis in the shoulder, and what that has caused him is a lot of problems throwing. So evidently, Jeff Torborg wants to get Snyder in there in case the first baseman has to make a key throw in this game.
Thigpen came on with a 5-3 Chicago lead, but gave up a 2-run home run to Mark McGuire. That tied it. And here we go to the bottom of the ninth. Ricky Henderson, he's been on base 4 times tonight. Infield hit, a walk, a run scored, base hit right field, a double to left to make it 5-3. And here he goes. Strike 1.
Well, last night it was Tim Raines, the leadoff man of the Chicago White Sox, on base 6 out of 6 trips. Tonight they haven't been able to keep Ricky off the base paths, and he spelled a lot of trouble for Chicago tonight.
You know, you're talking about the trouble he had in preseason on the little renegotiation of his contract, but Sandy Alderson, they had a battle with him, but Sandy said, hey, he's a very big player in a very good cast. The 1-1 pitch. And he went on to say it's almost like L.A. Law. He's our Arnie Becker.
I bet Ricky really liked that. Hey, the A's payroll has gone from $11 million to $36 million in 4 years. Somewhere along the line, you got to say when. And Sandy Alderson said, now's the time. It's when.
3-1. Now Thigpen probably saying to himself, please, please, let's don't walk this fella.
Yeah, well, the fans booing like that Thigpen's going after Ricky. No way in this situation do you go and try to hit a batter. Especially Ricky.
He walked him. Well, there's your winning run. Coming up next, Sports Center. Jim Fergamo and Chris Fowler will be bringing us up to date on the Lakers and Blazers. Game 3 of the NBA playoffs in the Western Conference. And the Rangers, they go for their 11th win in a row in Seattle. And Hal McRae makes his debut as the new manager of the Kansas City Royals. Jeff Torborg.
Jeff just looked at the camera and said, yeah, I'm going all the way with Thigpen. Don't even bother getting anybody else up in the pen. Well, the A's hoping for one of those patented Ricky rallies, a walk, a balk, a wild pitch, whatever, get him down there and get him in scoring position.
See if Blankenship is bunting. He is. Ricky's going. Throw to second base. That's number 16 this year. 952 in his great career. The king of all thieves.
Indeed he is. And now that sets up the sacrifice situation to let Blankenship bunt him to third. Lance squared to make it tough for Carlton Fisk, but there was no way that Blankenship was going to bunt at this ball. And Fisk, who doesn't have the arm he once did. And Ricky's in there. One of the things the White Sox have been doing earlier in the year is when Carlton Fisk in a tie game or when they have a lead 8th or 9th inning, they were going to Ron Karkovice, who may have the best throwing arm in all of baseball. But Karkovice out of there with the sprained thumb. He could be out as long as 6 weeks. So the White Sox don't have that luxury right now.
Blankenship has the count 1-0. Ian moves behind Henderson. Blankenship gets it down third base side. Beauty. And they throw out Lance.
Corey Snyder, not a first baseman by trade. He was really fighting to stay on the base there. Corey doesn't have all the footwork down at first base. He's a good outfielder, but right now the A's have a chance to win it. Great bunt by Lance Blankenship. You got to make the third baseman field it, and they do. And let's see how the White Sox play it strategy-wise. They have a lot of different options. They could walk both Canseco and Baines to load up the bases and go after Steinbach to set up a force. We'll see what they have in mind here. Well, they've struck out the big fella 3 times tonight. He's wearing the 0 for 4. Season average is down to 241. 5-5 ball game. Bottom 9th inning. Ricky Henderson at third. Just 1 out. A ball, no strikes. Infield pulled in, and Scott Fletcher, every time the ball goes back to the pitcher, he's dancing over there just in case. Well, I think the percentage move is to walk both Canseco and Baines and try to set up the double play with Steinbach, but evidently the White Sox not agreeing. Well, he got one in on Jose, and you see where he put it. He just turned on it a little too quick. He did that the other night. The A's were down 6-3 against Toronto. Of course, Jeff Torborg, a great believer in the statistics of baseball. He knows that Terry Steinbach last year in bases loaded situations was 11 for 18 with 23 RBIs. Steinbach has a reputation of being the top clutch hitter on the Oakland A's. So Torborg may say, let's take our chances with Canseco. He's not swinging the bat very well right now. Here's the 1-1. Just misses. You can see what Fisk wanted it. Bobby Thigpen and Carlton Fisk thought of that call. A lot of times, most of the time, particularly a catcher like Carlton Fisk, he will not turn towards the catcher and argue. He'll just look forward. That way the crowd won't get on, and it shows the respect for the umpire. Well, the count here is 2-1 on Jose Canseco. 5-5 ball game. Way outside, and Carlton Fisk saves the game for the moment. Carlton wants to talk to Bobby Thigpen. Thigpen really unnerved on that 1-1 pitch. He thought that was a strike. And Fisk is going to talk to Thigpen. Jeff Torberg's going to come out and talk to Thigpen. And I think all they're going to try to do is get Bobby in a better frame of mind. I think he was really discouraged after that pitch. Let's see if Torberg wolfs at the home plate umpire Jim McKeon at all. He may want McKeon to come out and break it up. A lot of times managers do that. They want the umpire to come out because you really can't argue balls and strikes. But you can give him a good piece of your mind if you want to.
He's not even looking.
Does not do it.
McKeon came out to break it up. So Thigpen has the count 3-1 to Canseco, and one of the quickest men in all baseball, Ricky Henderson at third. That's the winning run. It was 5-2 Chicago. A's came back. McGuire's home run tied it. Here's the 3-1. Fouled back. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You can see Jose knows he's not quite there. He's saying, now that's a pitch I should have handled, and he should have. He got a 3-1 fastball in a good zone, but he's just not quite quick to the ball.
Henderson led the inning off by walking, stole second, sacrificed to third. Here's the 3-2.
Just that little bit of difference, and Tony La Russa can't bear to watch. He takes a hike down into the runway. He goes, geez, I can't watch.
Pretty good at bat for Jose Canseco. Fouled off the last 2. Corey Snyder makes the play. Henderson bluffs the move, and Snyder's throw is a perfect one. So 2 big outs.
Canseco kind of going through what Darryl Strawberry went through. Darryl just was not getting the bat head out for a long time, and all of a sudden Strawberry found that magic down in Houston this past week, and Jose will find it, but right now he's struggling. He just can't quite figure out why he can't get the bat head to the ball and drive it to the outfield. That's a pitch that Canseco usually drills when he's on his game.
Well, he is bothered by it too, and you know his Bash brother Mark McGuire says, hey, nothing bothers Jose, not one at bat, not one game, not 1 week. Well, it's beginning to get to him, particularly when you got 1 out and the winning run and the fleet feet of Ricky Henderson at third. Now it's up to a guy who's been plenty cool in his career getting clutch base hits, Harold Baines.
I will have to correct one thing. I looked at my score sheet and thought it was Terry Steinbach hitting in the 5-hole. It's Dave Henderson. So they're going to pitch to Hindu here because both Baines and Hindu are hot. He's going to play percentage ball here and go after the right-handed batter. But I looked down and thought it was Steinbach, and it was really Dave Henderson who's hitting fifth.
Dave Henderson, who's always been known ever since Reggie Jackson retired as the new Mr. October. Lately he's been Mr. May, and he's been plenty important for the Oakland A's. He has 11 home runs this year. 4 of them are 3-run blasts, and we have a situation with 2 on right now. And you see the numbers: scoring position, 2 outs. We have that situation again here. Ricky Henderson at third base.
We're going to put him on too and go after Steinbach. So he's just going to eliminate the 2 hot hitters, Baines and Henderson, and go after Steinbach.
Well, we're going to have the situation we talked about earlier. Steiny's numbers and bases loaded, 11 for 18.
Well, that was last year, but again, Thigpen and Eckersley and all those other guys we talked about were great last year. This is 1991. Thiggy almost threw one to the backstop. It's been kind of an appropriate ending to this one. Former batting coach Merv Rettman, who's now with the San Diego Padres, used to tell me, he said, Terry Steinbach, he doesn't get the ink the other guys do, but when the game's on the line, that's the guy I like to see at the plate.
Bases are loaded. Bottom of the 9th inning here in Oakland, California. Steve Physioc, Dave Campbell with you. A 5-5 ball game. The A's trying to stay within a half game of first place as the Texas Rangers already won tonight, beating Seattle 7-3. That's all they need. Ball one. And again, Fisk saves it for the moment.
Carlton's had a couple of good saves in the inning. Keep having all these new categories in baseball. I'm sure somebody pretty soon is going to start coming up with catcher saves every time they block a ball in the dirt with a man on third or make a diving stop.
Jose Canseco, he was up there with Ricky on third, just one out, but he popped up. No rally caps in the A's dugout. They're going with a man. 579 bases loaded last year. How about a ball, a strike?
Well, we have played 3 hours and 33 minutes to get to a magic moment, and this is a magic moment right here. Bobby Thigpen, 57 saves against a great clutch hitter, Terry Steinbach.
Two balls and one strike. Tony La Russa said a couple of years back that, yeah, Canseco, yeah, McGuire, but maybe in about 5 years you'll notice that Terry Steinbach will drive in your key runs. A walk could win the game. The count's 3-1. Crowd tonight started at 34,478. The A's win. Steinbach walks with the bases loaded. In comes Henderson. 6-5 Oakland.
Well, I guess maybe a fitting end to a game where a lot of men scored on base on balls with the bases loaded. It was not a great artistic success. Some of the best, Bobby Thigpen, even the best, have their off nights. And for the Oakland A's, they battled back from a 5-2 deficit to get a 6-5 win, stay within a half game of Texas.
8 walks in the game by Chicago pitching. Texas Rangers. Final score, Oakland 6-5. For Dave Campbell, I'm Steve Physioc. Let's go to John Saunders.
All right, Steve.